So that didn't exactly go the way I thought it was gonna. I am like messed up right now. My brain is like mush right now. That episode was crazy. It was crazy. And they're all crazy, but like that one was particularly crazy. Anyway, hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another one of our Higurashi When They Cry Go discussion videos. Today we're here to talk all about episode 8, but before we get into it, quick reminder if you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, set notifications to all, let all of AniTube know that you're here, and yeah, let's go ahead and dig into this one. I don't even know where to start. Okay, so I knew, and likely all of you guys knew too, that this particular arc was going to end here, right? Like, as with the other arcs, we usually get the third arc, some sort of thing happens with Rika where there's a shift, and then we eventually sort of slide into whatever is going to be happening for the rest, then we sort of slide into the culmination of what's going to be happening for the rest of the arc. Like, we get, like the third episode in the arc is where the things with, like, something happens where Rika makes a change of some kind, and then episode 4, or the fourth episode of that particular arc, is where everything falls apart, and that is pretty much the same here. But here, I don't know what I thought was gonna happen, but whatever I thought, I was not ready. Like, whatever I thought it was gonna be, I wasn't ready for this, and not so much that it was like scary or disturbing or anything, although it was certainly disturbing, but I wasn't really prepared for how emotional I was gonna be. And that's the thing, right? Like, when I came to this show, I expected to be scared. I expected to be spooked solid. And for the most part, yeah, I still am. We'll talk about that ladder scene, don't get me wrong. But there's also this sincerity in this episode, especially, and throw up a picture of this scene. For some reason, this moment got me good. And it's just seeing these two, like Keiichi and Mion, who I'm like, you know, I will say that I will go down with this ship. We will talk a little bit about how maybe she was playing with his mind, but like we'll get into that in a bit. I don't think she was. But yeah, and I've seen some people in the comments say, like, listen, of all the Higurashi ships you could have, that one's not bad. Like, that one's pretty good. So I was like, cool, okay. So this is my, like, Mion and Keiichi, that's the way. Now, that scene broke me because you realize that Mion really was doing everything to seemingly protect Keiichi. I do think she had ulterior motives, but Keiichi definitely was part of it. Like, Keiichi, like, she knew he had done something stupid, and she tried to convince him not to do something stupid, but he did something stupid. And so now she has to save him. And it's this scene where she, I've seen different subs of this, and in the Funimation sub, she says, "I love you." And I don't know, I didn't hear, like, I don't recall if she said, like, daisuki. Like, I don't remember if that's necessarily what she said. So either she says, "I love you," but I've seen some screenshots on Twitter where it says, "I really like you." So it's like, either way, it still hits. And the idea that she's like, "I like you, and so now I have to do something that I've been meaning to do for a while, and I'm probably not gonna see you again." And it's like, god damn, that makes me sad. And I was shocked by how much I cared. I was like, legitimately, like, I've always liked Keiichi. You guys know that I'm like, god damn it, Keiichi, I just want to see you through this. Like, I just want to see Keiichi be happy, right? Like, I want to see Keiichi just make it through, and I want to see Mion just make it through. And then but I also kind of want to see Rika make it through as well, you know? Like, there's certain characters that I care about. Everybody tells me that I should be liking Sotoko as well. I assume she will grow on me. I like her, but just not as much as the others. Like, I still like Reina more, and Reina's freaking crazy. But yeah, so that's a thing. But yeah, man, that broke my heart. That broke my heart. Everything to do with Mion and Keiichi broke my heart, except for one thing that made me scared. It made me so scared. And that thing is the ladder scene. Throw up a picture of the ladder scene, editing JoJo. Yeah, the ladder scene was a lot. That was a scene that I was not anticipating. So Mion, in this moment, is like losing her mind, essentially. We get like the weird sort of like filter, I guess. Like there's this filter when shit starts to spiral, and like the filter shows up, and then the eyes, they all have the crazy eyes, like a doll's eyes, just crazy eyes. And Keiichi right away is like, I shouldn't have gone up this ladder. Like you could just see on his face like, this was a mistake. And what's crazy is the hindsight of knowing that Keiichi was like about to open like something. I don't remember what it was. He was doing something. I think he was about to walk into like the outdoor bathroom, and he probably would have found Rika. And Jesus Christ, we'll get into Rika in a second. But like he was probably like about to find something bad. Either way, no matter what was gonna happen, whether he got on the ladder or he didn't, it was gonna be a bad time. And when he gets on the ladder, she starts like, I have to. Like, I have to do it. I have to end this. Like I blah, blah, blah. Like, and she starts like shaking the ladder. And I'm like my heart, right? From days where I used to work stock in retail stores and I'd have to climb big ass ladders and somebody would have to hold it on the bottom. And like my heart, when she starts shaking the thing, cause I'm like, oh God, like that brought back nightmares for me. And yeah, just, holy shit. Like if I were Keiichi, I would have like jumped up on the roof like, you're freaking me out. like I would have lost my mind. And in fairness, Keiichi is like Mion, you're scaring me. And yeah, Mion was scary in that moment. And I noticed Mion had the crazy eyes. And I've only seen two other characters have the crazy eyes. I've seen Rika have the crazy eyes, and I've seen Reina have the crazy eyes. And that has me, that does me a concern. Because, like, okay, is this Oyashiro's curse? In fact, you know what? Let's go ahead and talk about some of the mysteries that still sort of linger in the air surrounding the show. So what I mean by that is that we hear from Mion explaining, like, what the tool shed thing was about. Like, what the storeroom was about. And she shows Keiichi on the Sonozaki estate how they have like something similar, but it's more modern, right? Like it's used for, like, it hasn't been used, but it could be used, you know what I mean? And so it's like, okay, so basically trying to state that it's definitely not a curse, like it's people. And I would buy that, except for the fact that we know it's a curse. We know it's like legitimately, like, there has to be something supernatural going on, because first of all, we're like looping. Like, we're not technically looping because like situations change, but we're basically looping. Like, when we jump back in time to where everybody was still alive and happy and good, things change. Like, there was no board game night last time, or at least if there was, it was of little importance. Whereas now there is. Like, so settings are clearly changing. It's not necessarily a loop as much as it's like parallel worlds, I guess. So there's different world lines running concurrent. And I have to assume that if there's a curse in one, there's a curse in all of them. And since we're jumping between these world lines, that has to still be true. So there has to still be a curse of some kind. And maybe I'm misreading the scene. In fact, I probably am, knowing me. You guys know I'm a friggin' idiot. But I assumed that Mion was at least in her mind telling the truth, that there is no curse. It's like people doing this, and I have to stop the people doing this, right? Like, that's where she's coming from. But we know there's a curse because the last friggin' world line ended with Keiichi getting said curse and then supposedly dying. You know, like when he scratches his neck and you hear the scream, so it's like, okay, so there is a curse, right? Because the nurse even says, like, is your neck itchy? And then he like does the scratch and you hear the sound. I would assume that Keiichi dies there. This time Keiichi doesn't die. But he's not necessarily cursed either. Like, he doesn't start scratching at his neck or anything. So that's curious. And Reina doesn't die either, which I also find curious, because in the last one, Mion didn't die. But in this one, Mion does die, but Reina doesn't die. Which is like, okay, that's, like, I'm trying to go full Sherlock here, but again, as I stated, I'm stupid. So when I'm trying to like piece the puzzles, put the pieces of the puzzle together, I feel like I'm doing it wrong somehow, right? Because I'm like, okay, so Mion died in one timeline, or world line, and then Reina dies in another. So, like, when one survives, the other one dies. Is that, like, always going to be the case? Or is that just, like, coincidence between these two world lines? I don't know. The other thing, too, is Sotoko. Sorry, did I say Sotoko? I meant Satoko. What the hell's wrong with me? So both Satoko and Rika both die mysteriously. In the first one, in this one. Although Rika less so dies mysteriously and more so gruesome. Like when they explain, like, did you know about the well in the Sonozaki estate? And he's like, what are you talking about? Keiichi, of course, is like, what are you talking about? And Oishi says, like, oh, they found 3 bodies in the well, and it was basically Mion's family, including Shion. Poor Shion! That broke my heart, because I like Shion. So I was like, God damn, that sucks. And then they said that they found Rika in the septic tank of the school's bathroom. Jesus Christ. Like that, I was like, oh, Rika. Oh, Rika, you deserve better. Oh, no. Right? Like, that was brutal. Like, and Oishi even says, like, it was, like, yeah, you're lucky you didn't see that. Like, even Oishi was clearly like, yeah, that was disgusting. Like, he was like, that was gruesome. Whatever happened to her was brutal. And it's like, God damn, poor Rika. And, I mean, Rika, in fairness, like, in the last week's episode, she made it pretty clear, like, we're all dead anyway. So, good job, Keiichi, you friggin' idiot. Like, so it's like, that's, like, as far as Rika's concerned, that's on Keiichi. And by the way, just gonna quickly address this because I forgot to mention it earlier when I was talking about Keiichi and Mion and how I ship it. Him screaming Mion as like Mion runs off with the gun to try to like protect, like do what she thinks is right to protect Keiichi, and then Keiichi battering his way through a bulletproof door. Well, he doesn't, like, the cage wasn't said to be bulletproof, but the door was. And Keiichi's just, like, bashing his skull against the door like a friggin' idiot. I was like, Keiichi, Jesus. Like, when he's all, and he's, like, beaten and bloody, and I can't show that because, you know, monetization, your boy gotta stay monetized, your boy gotta eat. By the way, consider joining our, hitting the join button to help your boy eat. But, yeah, your boy's gotta eat, can't show the scene, but yeah, Keiichi gets all kinds of messed up. Messes himself up. But the main point is that friggin' Rika dies a gruesome death, and Satoko dies a mysterious death. Again, why do I say mysterious when it's like, oh, well, she was probably shot? What was she doing there? They said that they were at the Sonozaki estate? Like, if they were at the Sonozaki estate, why was Satoko there? Like, why was she there? What the hell? Like, that's the second time that Satoko dies, and I'm like, what happened? What the hell happened? This is the second time that that's happened. So there are 2 consistencies that I can see. One, if Mion dies in one world, Reina dies in the other one. So maybe they swap. I don't know. That's a bad one. But the main one is Satoko. So I'm like, okay, Satoko and Rika, they've died both times in both worlds. So maybe what we're seeing here is a sort of like Heroes type thing. If you remember Heroes, there was that whole like save the cheerleader, save the world. So like maybe if you save Satoko and Rika, world line saved. Maybe, I don't know, because like that's the connecting tissue I see here is that Rika and Satoko die, and it's almost like outside of whatever the hell's happening. Although Satoko was definitely sus in Keiichi. You know, Satoko immediately smarter than every single character in Talentless Nana. Even though she was wrong to sus Keiichi, she was onto something. So it's like, okay, she knew something was up. And they do mention the other families, and they mention Satoko's family specifically. Like, Mion specifically mentions Satoko's family, so I'm like, what the hell's up with Satoko's family? I still think there's a curse. I think there's something supernatural about Oyashiro. Like, I think what, can't remember her name. I forget her name. I feel bad. Whatever, the freaking Tomitaki's girlfriend said about, like, the origins of the curse. I think there's truth to that. I don't think it's all, like, just people in Hinamizawa, like, killing people. I think there is a curse element to it. I think there's something to that curse. Because we've seen that there is something to it in the first timeline. At least, it looks like that. But yeah. Do I know what's going on? No, not a clue. Do other, like, fans of this new series know what's going on? No, not a clue. Do like original OG fans of the original anime or the visual novel also don't know what's going on, yeah, they don't know either. Like, it seems like we're all in the dark, and I kind of like that. I like not knowing where things are going. It's making this very fun. And next week's a whole new world line, so Keiichi made it to the end. There's that, but like, holy shit. And with that said, everybody, that is gonna wrap up today's video here, so I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to boop that up, snooch, share if you care, leave a comment down below, and of course, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell and set notifications to all to let all of AniTube know that you're here. And of course, as always, I have to give a big thank you to the good folks in the T Squadron. Look at these beautiful people. Look at all these beautiful names, and hey, if you would like to join these beautiful people, there are now 2 ways to do so. The first is by hitting that Patreon link in the description, and the second, for just a wee bit more, is by hitting that join button right beside the sub button to get a badge next to your name, some emotes to spam in the comments, and of course, your name scrolling past this screen here, so if that sounds cool to you, go ahead and hit that join button, or check out the Patreon link. Either way, it is super appreciated. So once again, a big thank you to the good folks in the T Squadron, and that is it for me, everybody. So, until next time, you stay classy, AniTube, wash your dang hands, and, you know, try not to lose your mind trying to put the pieces of this puzzle together, because I feel like we're not going to get all the pieces till the end of the show anyway. So, yeah. Just enjoy the ride, I guess.